They told you it would never fall below six figures again. They promised you digital gold, a revolution, freedom from the system. But on November 23rd, 2025, something broke. Bitcoin didn't just dip. It didn't just correct. It fell through $87,000 like a stone through black water. And the whales? They're not panicking. They're feeding. This isn't another price prediction video. This isn't hopium or fear-mongering. This is about what's happening right now in the shadows of the crypto market. While retail investors watch their portfolios bleed red, something far more sinister is unfolding. Sovereign wealth funds, the kind that topple governments and reshape economies, have tripled their Bitcoin positions during this crash. Whales are accumulating at levels we haven't seen since 2020. And the question you should be asking isn't when will it recover? The question is, what do they know that we don't? Let me paint you a picture of the carnage. November 2025. Bitcoin breaks below $87,000 for the first time since April. The VIX, the market's fear index, spikes to 27.8. Panic levels. Crypto Twitter is on fire. Reddit threads filled with suicide hotline numbers. Discord servers going dark. Billions evaporated in hours. But here's where it gets dark. This wasn't random. This wasn't just market correction. Look at the timeline. Trump's tariffs hit harder than expected. Consumer sentiment at its second worst reading in history. The S&P 500 trembling as the Magnificent Seven. Those tech giants that hold 37% of its value start to crack. Traditional markets are bleeding. And when Wall Street sneezes, crypto catches pneumonia. But the institutions, they didn't flee. They doubled down. Let me tell you about the whales. Not the retail traders who bought at $95,000 thinking they were early. Not the YouTubers screaming, Bitcoin to $200,000 by Christmas. I'm talking about the real players. Sovereign wealth funds. Nation states. Shadow banks with assets that dwarf entire countries. While you were watching the price ticker turn red, they were moving billions into cold storage. Quietly, methodically, without emotion. These aren't gamblers. These are apex predators who studied every market cycle since the tulip mania of 1637, and they only move when they smell blood in the water. Here's what the data shows. Meme coins are exploding. Bonk, Brett, deep snitch AI promising 300x returns. You know what that means? Desperation. When retail flees Bitcoin for lottery tickets promising impossible gains, that's not optimism. That's the death rattle of hope. And the whales? They're scooping up real Bitcoin at discount prices while the masses chase mirages. This has all happened before. 2018. Bitcoin crashes from $20,000 to $3,000. Everyone calls it dead. Institutions accumulate in silence. 2020. The March COVID crash. Bitcoin drops 50% in days. Terror in the streets. Institutions accumulate in silence. 2022, the FTX collapse. Trust shattered. The industry in ruins. Institutions accumulate in silence. And now, 2025, the pattern repeats. But there's something different this time. The stakes are higher. The amounts are larger. The players are more powerful. We're not talking about hedge funds anymore. We're talking about countries. Nations hedging against their own currencies, preparing for a financial system that's already cracking at the foundation. You think Bitcoin fell to $87,000 by accident? You think the timing, right as Trump's tariffs cripple consumer confidence, right as the VIX spikes, right as the traditional markets wobble, was coincidence? This is orchestration. This is accumulation by design. Here's what they won't tell you on CNBC. Here's what the crypto influencers won't say because it doesn't sell courses. This crash, it might not be over. The macro picture is darker than it's been in years. Tariffs are squeezing companies for $1.60 to $1.75 billion. Half of that cost is being passed directly to consumers. That's you, in the form of higher prices. Inflation that was supposed to be dead, it's coming back. Interest rates that were supposed to drop, still elevated. And Bitcoin, your inflation hedge, your digital gold, is bleeding out while gold itself sits pretty above $2,000 an ounce. But here's the twist. The whales aren't scared. Sovereign funds aren't retreating. They're not buying Bitcoin despite the crash. They're buying because of it. They see something on the horizon that retail investors can't, or won't. So what do? Do you panic sell at $87,000, locking in your losses while institutions buy your Bitcoin at a discount? Do you FOMO into Deep Snitch AI and other meme coins promising 300x returns, playing a rigged game designed to transfer your wealth to smarter players? Or do you do something different? Do you think like a whale? The truth is brutal. Most retail investors lose money not because they're wrong about Bitcoin long-term. They lose because they think like retail. They buy euphoria at $95,000. They sell fear at $87,000. They chase 300x on coins with no fundamentals. They trade on emotion while institutions trade on probability. The whales win because they understand something fundamental. Markets are a wealth transfer mechanism from the emotional to the patient, from the reactive to the calculated, from those who need certainty to those who embrace calculated risk. Bitcoin is below $87,000. The market is in turmoil. Fear is at all-time highs. And somewhere in Dubai, in Singapore, in New York, in unmarked buildings where decisions worth billions are made, someone is smiling because they know what history has taught us. The best time to buy isn't when everyone agrees it's a good idea. It's when everyone is absolutely certain it's a terrible one. I'm not telling you to buy. I'm not telling you to sell. I'm telling you to think, to look at who's buying while you're panicking, to ask why sovereign wealth funds are tripling positions while YouTubers scream about the death of crypto, to recognize that in every market crash, wealth doesn't disappear. It just changes hands. The question is, which side of that transfer do you want to be on? Bitcoin is at $87,000. The whales are feeding, and you have a choice to make. The fall isn't the end of the story. It's just the beginning of the next chapter. And that chapter, it's being written right now. While you watch, while you wait, while you decide. The question is, will you be part of it? Or will you just be another cautionary tale?